Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Mentor City mentorship info session for psychologists of color and or supporters of psychologists of color. What we're going to be talking about today, I'm going to give a brief overview of Psychologists of Color, Inc., in case you're not familiar with the organization or just wanted a reminder of who we are and what we're doing. We'll also do some introductions, both myself and Brian. I will share a bit about the POC mentorship program mission, kind of why we've started it and what we're hoping to accomplish. I'll hit on some of the highlights of the Mentor City program specifically, and then I'll be passing the mic to Brian, who's going to actually demo the Mentor City software, which is very cool and I'm very psyched about. So I want to have him explain it because it's really interesting and nuanced and has lots of features, and I want to make sure people know how to utilize it fully. And then we're going to open it up for a Q&A. Okay. What is Psychologists of Color, Inc.? We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization based here in California, but with national outreach. And our mission is to increase the racial and ethnic diversity of the psychologist workforce by supporting future and current psychologists of color. And hi, Dr. Jordan Trockman. I am the current board president and founder of Psychologists of Color, Inc. I won't talk forever about myself, but just for some context, I'm a licensed clinical psychologist in the LA area. Now I'm in Santa Clarita. I have a group practice that I run, California Women's Therapy. I also do EPPP tutoring and run a small business for that. And then also founded this nonprofit organization, Psychologists of Color. And I'm a mom with two young daughters, a 6-year-old and almost 2-year-old. So I'm busy, probably as busy as everybody else out there. I know we wear a lot of hats as psychologists. So that's me. And Brian, who will be taking the lead at the end or big bulk of the presentation, has been with Mentor City for 3 years, acting as a customer success manager. He helps clients build and grow their mentoring programs, as well as providing training for members and administrators. So he's the guy who knows Mentor City all the way. So we've brought him in because I'm just a psychologist, not a programmer. No, I don't. Perfect. Okay. And why mentorship? This has been central to our mission from the inception of Psychologists of Color. Most recent stats show only 16% of psychologists in the USA identifying as Black, Indigenous, or persons of color. And we recognize the importance of the mentor-mentee relationship and cultivating more psychologists of color, right? That is our goal. We ideally would like to see the racial ethnic breakdown of psychologists matching the racial ethnic breakdown of the United States as a whole, and we are still very far from that. And that's why we exist, and we're working to move the needle. And it seems clear to me that if we're going to make that change, we're going to need mentors of all different backgrounds willing to help mentees. Willing to help psychologists of color to move forward in their careers in a variety of ways. And I'm very passionate about mentorship and the role that that can play. Mentorship is crucial for a variety of reasons. First of all, mentorship allows for the development of a strong foundation for personal and professional growth in the mental health field, which will lead to an increase in the number of psychologists of color in the field. Mentors also serve as role models, inspiring individuals to further their career and achieve their individual goals. These relationships allow for unique perspective and insight into the challenges and experiences faced by BIPOC individuals in the mental health field. Mentorship can provide guidance and support while navigating systemic racism and discrimination within the profession. And these relationships can also provide valuable cultural proficiency training and guidance on how to approach clients from various cultural backgrounds with sensitivity and understanding. And why Mentor City? As I mentioned to those of you who were on before we started recording, we've had mentorship in some capacity through POC from the inception, but we found that we, with our kind of spreadsheet strategies, lacked the complexity to be able to really match people well and to follow up on mentoring relationships. And see what was being done and make sure people are happy and do program evaluation, right? All of the things that you would want in a more organized, well-rounded program. So we started exploring different software out there for mentorship and landed on Mentor City, which I love and I'm thrilled to be partnering with. One of the things I love most about the Mentor City platform is matching. They have a matching system built into the platform that connects mentees with mentors based on shared interests, goals, and background after answering some profile questions. And this helps to ensure that mentees are matched with mentors who have relevant expertise and can offer meaningful guidance and support. Another feature I love from Mentor City is their communication tools. The Mentor City program provides a range of communication tools to facilitate the mentor-mentee interactions, including messaging, video conferencing built right in, and discussion boards. These tools make it easy for mentors and mentees to connect and share information, feedback, and advice. As a psychologist, I love my SMART goals, and Mentor City has goal setting built into the platform as well. Their goal setting feature allows mentors and mentees to set individualized goals and track progress towards achieving them. It helps to ensure that mentoring relationships are focused and productive and that both parties are clear about what they hope to accomplish through this relationship. Mentor City also has a resource library that contains a range of tools and resources to support mentoring relationships. These resources can help mentors and mentees develop new skills, address challenges, and explore new opportunities. And especially helpful for our program evaluation and grant applications, there's reporting and analytic features. That means we can track progress, measure success, and identify areas for improvement. This helps us to ensure mentoring relationships are effective and that both parties are able to reach their goals and to report back to grants and donors and help grow our organization. So, yay, Mentor City and all of its tools. So soon I'm going to be passing the mic over to Brian Anderson, who's going to provide us with a platform demo of the Mentor City software. Yeah, I did not create it. We're just partnering with Mentor City. He's going to go over profile completion, setting your availability, calendar sync, searching and inviting, conducting your mentorship relationship, including booking meetings, communicating, and mentorship agreements. I'll talk about the discussion features, events features, resources, and I think also an app. Didn't get the app on the slide, but there's also a Mentor City app. So lots going on. And I think this is the time where I stop my screen share. Let's see if I remember how to do that. And pass the mic to Brian. Do I need to do something to pass the mic, or I just kind of go like this?
Nope, that's good. Thank you, Dr. Trockman. I appreciate that. Thank you, everyone, for having me today. So as she mentioned, I'm going to be just walking you through the entire platform live, showing you how to do all the functionality, how to connect with a mentor or mentee. You can see my screen, right? Yep. Perfect. Okay, great. So when you first get access to the platform, first thing you're going to see is your profile. Please fill out your profile as best you can with as much information as you can. Whether you're a mentor or a mentee, it's going to help in the long run. If you're a mentee, you're giving the system enough information to suggest matches to you and to give you kind of like a rating system. We have a rating system, which I'm going to go into in a bit when we get to that aspect of it. But the more information you have on your profile, the easier it is for the system to do that, and the better quality matches you'll come up with. Um, one other thing, if you're a mentor, again, please put in as much information so that you're providing a lot of information to potential mentors and to potential mentees for yourself. Okay, so this is what the profile looks like. We do have some questions for that are specifically for mentors, some that are for mentees. The first thing you're really going to want to pay attention to is the role here. Make sure that that role is set up as for what role you want within the organization. And then you can also set your max number of mentors and mentees you have at the same time. This is going to default to one. But if you feel like you can take two mentees at the same time, feel free to do so. It will help in the long run. Your development areas here. I'm a mentee, so the system's asking me for my development areas. If I just switch over to mentor for a second, you'll see that this now says specialized skills. What you're doing is you're telling the system what you're good at as a mentor to pass that knowledge off to a mentee, or as a mentee, what you're looking for out of a mentor. What skills are you looking to gain? So fill this out. Don't just put one or two in. Make sure you have as many as you can. That way, again, the better, the more filled out your profile is, the better the results are going to be. Okay, so you just scroll down and fill out the rest of the questions, and then off to the employment section. So the employment section, it does have company name, title, all that. You can fill this out. You can also put your entire work history on here if you want, or you could just have the last couple. We do have this add new position, and then you can also indicate that you currently work there, and it will get rid of the end date for you. Okay. And I would say the most important piece is the competency section, the third page of that profile. Be as honest as you can with this questionnaire. This is a self-evaluation. So please, your mentors, mentees are not going to have any idea what you say in this page. So be as truthful as you can. This is what kind of drives the rating system with the matches. And it will again provide the best matches possible if you have this filled out to the best of your ability. Be honest with yourself with this. Again, it's completely anonymous. No one's going to see these responses, but you'll be doing yourself a disservice if you kind of exaggerate this on this page. And then once you have that filled out, you can go to save and find mentor, find mentee, and it's now going to take you to the dashboard. So this is the dashboard here. This is kind of a snapshot of everything that's happening on your account right now. You can see I have one connection so far. I'll get to that in just a minute. But the first thing you're going to want to do is start setting your meeting availability. Now, what this is doing is it's telling the system when you're available to meet and when you're not available to meet. This isn't meant to be updated week by week. This is more of a general, these are my working hours, or these are the hours that I want to mentor somebody. So you can see here that I have a pretty consistent 9 to 5, Monday through Wednesday, and then opened up for Thursday and Friday. Saturdays and Sundays are completely unavailable. So if I was to try and book a meeting on a Sunday, the system's not going to let me because I've already indicated that I'm not available that day. Okay. Make sure your time zone up here is set properly as well. Mine's in Eastern time because that's where I reside right now. But if you have your time zone set properly, and your availability set properly, then you don't have to do any of the work to try and figure out if you have a mentor or a mentee that's in a different time zone. You don't have to do that manual calculation of, how many hours behind are they or how many hours ahead are they. The system does that for you. And then I could sync a calendar as well. I could sync a Google Calendar or an Outlook calendar. And what that does is it brings down the appointments that I have on my calendar into Mentor City. Your connections aren't going to be able to see your appointments, but it will block off those times that are available. You saw on the previous screen that I had 9 to 5 available on Monday, but I also have meetings consistently throughout the week, or through every Monday. So the system will not show those times available, the times that I have a meeting. So it's constantly updating like that. And if you have everything set properly, you won't have to worry about, am I going to be accidentally booked for something during a time where I'm not going to be free. Okay? You can also put your phone number in here as well. Um, no one's going to have access to your phone number. This is saved in a completely different spot. And what this does is if you have a meeting coming up, the system will send you a text notification an hour before that meeting's supposed to start, just as another reminder that you do have a meeting coming up. So once you have that done, some other things you can do before you get into a relationship is look at the resources. We do have this resources button down here, and we do have one resource here, but we also have these mentor specific resources, mainly for mentors and for mentees. But we also have these mentoring conversations. What these are, they're videos that kind of go through what it is to be a mentor, how to be a good mentor, all those specifics. There are some really interesting points in here. And I suggest you just spend some time kind of going through these materials, because it will help kind of in the long run for your relationship. And check back here every so often as well. Your administrators might put up new resources through the cohorts. So now that we've done that, we've set our availability, we've looked at the resources. Now it's time to start actually trying to find a mentor or a mentee. So I'm going to go in as a mentee and start trying to find a mentor for myself. So how I do that is I click on mentors here. Oh, sorry, mentees here. And it will pull up a list of all the available mentors that I have, that are currently available on the platform. If somebody doesn't have room for another mentor or another mentee, then they're not going to show up in this list at all. Okay, so you don't have to worry about, does this person have time to take me on as a mentee? If they're here, then they have that. Then they have room for you. Okay. And you can see here that we have a rating system. So right now I'm not really rated with anybody because I didn't finish my profile. So again, making sure you have your profile completed, very important. Okay. So I can look through all these and I can say, let's pick Jasmine. So I can click on Jasmine's name and I can find more information about her. Okay. And then down here, I can now start sending Jasmine a message. I can say, what I usually like to say on this part is don't make it about yourself, make it about them. What stood out about them to you that made you want to connect with them? So focus on them, don't focus on yourself. That is after you get into a relationship. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send Jasmine an invite for her to be my mentor. So I could say something like, "Hi, Jasmine. Um, I'm just going to say, looking forward to working with you." And then I can click on send invitation. Okay. Now that invitation has been sent to her. and she'll get an email saying that I have invited her to a relationship, and she can then see my profile, get all my details, and either accept or decline me. If she declines me, she has a way of putting a small personalized message about why they've she's declined me. Or if she accepts me, then I get a message saying that she's accepted my invite, and now we're in an official mentor-mentee relationship. So if let's say you send out an invite to someone, and a couple of days later you haven't heard anything back from them, you can start interacting with them right away. If I go to connections, I'll see my mentee Jasmine here. I can click on her name, and I can send her a message by clicking on here, and just follow, just saying like following up on this invite. Please let me know. And let's say a couple of days later, she still hasn't responded to me. I can then go back into connections, click on her name, and then I can click on withdraw this request. What that allows me to do is it now takes away that invite, and I'm free to go search for somebody else now. So just keep that in mind, that you can always pull that back if you don't hear from anybody. Another thing you could do as well is contact your administrators and say, "Hey, I haven't heard back from this person yet." They can try reaching out and investigate what's going on. Okay. Now, let's say she does accept me, and I get that email saying that we're now in an official relationship. I can click on in this case my name here, and this is how I can start communicating with my mentor. So again, I can click on this little button here, and I could say something like, "Hi, Brian. Um, Good to work with you." Okay. And now we can have a message back and forth between each other. If you look at this message, if you're on the platform and you see a message coming through and you click on it or you open it up within 5 minutes of receiving that message, then you're not going to receive any email or notification saying that you have a new message because you've already opened it. There is a 5 minute delay there. And that's so that you can freely use this and text back and forth and message each other. And then you're not going back to your email and suddenly you have 20 messages or emails saying you have a new message from the system. That's how we kind of limit it. So don't panic that you're not getting any of the messages when you've already opened them. Wait 5 minutes. You're sure to get an email from the platform. So now that we've kind of communicated back and forth, we're now good to set up a meeting. So I can click back on my mentor's name, and I can click on for schedule meeting. I can click on new. And now this is where the availability and the time zones come in. So the system is only going to let me book a time that both of us have indicated that we are available. So Saturdays and Sundays completely off the table because I've indicated that I'm not available. And after 5 o'clock on Monday through Wednesday, again, unavailable. I've said I'm unavailable, so the system's not going to let me book anything. So if I go to, let's say, October 11th, I have 7 slots available. So I have basically the rest of the afternoon that I can set something. So I can say the duration is 30 minutes, or I can say the duration is 45, 60 minutes, 75, 90 minutes. Let's say I want to meet him today at 4 o'clock. I can then set a location. So this defaults to Mentor City's video platform. You could also put a Zoom link in here as well. Sometimes if you're running like a corporate owned system, and you're on a firewall, or you're in VPN or something like that. Sometimes our video functionality doesn't quite work under those scenarios. So you're free to put something, you're free to delete this and put a Zoom link in there if Zoom will make it easier for you. Um, but it will always default to Mentor City's built-in functionality, which I'm going to be showing you that next. We also have the ability to have reoccurring meetings. So let's say every month on the 11th, I want to meet with my mentor. I'm free to do so by just clicking on every month. And let's say for the next 6 months. So now the system is going to send 6 meetings for the 11th of every month for the next 6 months at 4 o'clock. Okay. You can also do it by every day, every week, or every year as well. I'm just going to say none right now. And then I can click on send request. So now you'll see that the number of meetings go up and the number of hours go up by 30 minutes. That was indicated on that invite. So what happens now is an email goes to my mentor letting them know that I have sent an invite to them. They can either accept or decline that invite. Of course, if they decline, they have a way of schedule or rescheduling that meeting for another time. If I was to click on view for scheduled meetings, I can then see who actually accepted that invite. I can see that my mentor right now has not accepted that invite because it's the question mark there. When they have accepted it, then it will turn into a green check mark here. If they decline it or cancel it, then it will be a red X here instead. Okay. And from here, I can reschedule, I can cancel the meeting, or I can add meeting notes. I can also add this to my calendar as well. So Mentor City, when we sync a calendar, we only have the ability to bring the information in. We don't actually have the ability to push information back into your calendar. So if you want to add this to your calendar, you have to add it by clicking on Google Calendar or download the Outlook calendar, whatever one you prefer to use. Now, let's say my mentor and I had a meeting that wasn't actually scheduled. You can still add that meeting just by clicking on the plus sign and the plus sign for the mentoring hours as well. Now, let's say for whatever reason, we had a meeting scheduled. My mentor never responded to that invite. They didn't show up for that meeting. So I can then decrease that number of hours and the meetings as well to indicate that that meeting never actually happened. After a meeting is scheduled to stop, so let's say if I book the meeting for 4 o'clock, at 4:30, both of us will receive an email asking how did the meeting go? And there's 5 different options you can pick there. Okay, great, excellent, outstanding, or did not meet. Now, if I click on did not meet, then it will automatically decrease the number of hours and number of minutes that were supposed to be met. Now, not everybody does that, so you might want to keep an eye on that as well. Okay. So now let's say it's time for our meeting. He responded to my meeting invite saying that he's going to be there. Now it's time for that meeting. A couple of different ways you can get to it. So if you're the recipient of that invite, the meeting link will be on the email that got sent out to you. I can also just click on view for upcoming meetings and look at the link here. Or if it is by Mentor City, you can click on this button here. And the first time you go into it, just make sure you allow your browser to use your microphone just by clicking on allow and then apply. And same thing with the camera as well. Now you're only going to have to do this once, or you should only have to do this once. And then it will be saved and you're good to move on from there. So now I can click on apply and I'm now in the meeting room after I click on join. So my mentor will appear down here, and we can have that face-to-face interaction right through the through the platform. Now, there's a couple of things you can do within this screen. I can mute my microphone, I can turn off my camera, or I can change my background. I can blur my background, or we have some virtual backgrounds here you can choose from. I can even share my screen from here too. So if I click on this button, it will allow me to share my screen, and I can share different tabs or a document that I'm working on. We also have this chat box here too. And so we can share information, send information back and forth, maybe share links back and forth as well while you're in a call. And everything that's sent in a call will save after that call as well. So you'll have that historical data from the call. So I can say hi from call, and then I can hang up. And when I hang up, it's going to bring me right back to the message hub where I can then start interacting with or using text based to interact with my mentor. The reason we bring you to right to this screen is so that you can now start following up with action items from your meeting, or meeting notes from the meeting, or minutes from the meeting that you want to present to your mentor mentee. So a couple of things, a couple of other things in this page. The mentoring agreement. The mentoring agreement should be filled out between the mentor and the mentee on your first call. Now, we call it an agreement, but it's more of a fluid agreement. It's more of an understanding between the mentor and the mentee. How this is filled out is either party can fill it out, but only one party needs to fill it out. So if I'm on a call with my mentor, I can pull up this page, and my mentor and I can then start talking about each question, and what our responses are going to be. And then I, as who has it up already, I can then start typing in those responses, okay, and start filling this out, how long the relationship's going to be, and all that. And then when I click on submit, my mentor will on the other side will be able to click on mentoring agreement and see all of my responses filled out already. Okay. And then they're free to edit that document at any time as well. If, let's say, there's an availability change or something like that, you can then put that in the agreement stating like, hey, I'm no longer available Fridays. Our meetings will have to be Monday through Friday through Thursday. We have a goals section here as well. This is where you can start adding goals for yourself or your mentee if you're a mentor. And then both parties will be able to see those goals and be able to complete those goals. So my first goal is going to be give a presentation. My sub goal is going to be put together a presentation. Now the give a presentation, I'm going to be doing that on the 31st. But I need to have that presentation done by the 23rd. And I can click on save. And now my mentor will be able to see the goals that I put in. I can see the goals that I put in. And now one of us, either the mentor or the mentee, can then check that goal off. And now that goal is listed as completed. I'll get a message saying, congratulations on completing your goal. And so will my mentor, just as another way of letting you know that that goal is completed. We have a notes section here as well. Now, the notes section is it's not shared between the mentor and the mentee. These are strictly notes for yourself, or notes that you thought about before meetings or in between meetings. And it's just so that everything's right there and you don't have to have multiple things opened as you're trying to conduct a meeting. Everything's right there on the platform. The progress just kind of shows you how many hours you have, number of goals you have, and the number of hours. Resources, really, it's just a shortcut to the resource page. And then we have the program evaluation here as well. Now, the program evaluation comes at the end of the relationship or towards the end of the relationship. And it's really just giving feedback to the administrators how your relationship went, what you think of the program, any changes you or any feedback that you think that they should know. And then we have this end relationship button here as well. This end relationship button is really meant to be like if something is not working out in the relationship or you're getting to the mentoring agreement stage and you're realizing that, hey, we're just not connecting the way we should be, then you can click on end relationship. And email goes out to both parties, letting them know that the relationship has ended for one reason or another, and then you're kind of free to go off and find somebody else. A couple more things to kind of highlight here under events. Keep an eye on the events. We do have, or there might be times where your administrators will post stuff in the events. And then we have discussions as well. So there's one discussion up there right now, presentation skills, but keep an eye on this. Your administrators are going to be posting more discussions. If you're not supposed to be involved in the discussion, then you're not going to see the discussion there. Some discussions might only be just for administrators or just for mentors, just for mentees. So if depending on your role, you might this might change a bit. Then we also have the apps as well. So we have a Google app and an Apple app. Feel free to download those. You can find them on the stores as well. Just search for Mentor City, and it's the first one that pops up with our logo is a white M with an orange background, and the M looks like two people shaking hands. So it's there. It should be the first results you see when you search them. And the app looks exactly like the website. So it's not like you're trying to learn two different systems at the same time. Everything you can do on the site, you can also do on the app, even video calls as well. We do have this little button down here. This is for accessibility. So if you have any accessibility needs, you'll find a setting that would work well for you right here. And then we also have this little need assistance, send us a message. So if you're running into anything with your mentor or mentee or with the program, any technical help, feel free to type it in here. Click on send feedback. A copy of that goes to your administrators, and a copy of that also goes to Mentor City. We'll be able to help you via email if you were to post a technical question in here. And that's really it. Those are like the main points of the platform. Should we open it up for questions now?
Yeah, Brian, thank you so much. There's no way I could have walked through all those features and not missed some of the wonderful things in there. I did start a mentoring relationship with a new mentee, and we were before the info session trying to do it, figuring out as we go. And we were able to do it, but we missed some of the features, right? We weren't taking advantage of everything that there was in there to offer. And I'm excited to meet again and formally do all the goals and the mentorship agreement with an understanding of how each feature works.
Perfect.
Am I sharing my screen now? I hope that I'm doing this correctly.
Nope. Let me stop sharing mine. There. Okay.
There we go. Perfect. Okay. So if you are interested in becoming a mentor, which we hope those of you who are on live are, or if you're watching this recording later, if you're as jazzed about this as I am, you can sign up through our website. If you go to psychologistofcolor.com/mentorship, it's going to bring you to a page with a link to sign up. Actually, I'm wondering if I can do that in this exact moment. Let me find that. Let me find that so I can show you what it looks like. But we were planning to open it up for a Q&A. I'm gonna find an example of the website so you can see what it's gonna look like when you click there. But if you have questions, you can go ahead and raise your hand or type in the chat, or just it's small enough that if you just unmute your mic, we'll probably not have a ton of people talking at once. So we should be good to go.
With the you had mentioned the specialized skills to tick off the ones that you fall under. Is it specific to therapists only, like specialization, or is it really just about communication stuff? Like,
we've done both, right? So we have all of the kind of standard mentoring skills that were already loaded into the Mentor City system. And then we've also created our own POC specific skills, things like EPPP expertise, or statistics, or like things that feel like individuals, or clinical presentations, working in academia. So we've loaded in different areas there. But if you're logging up or signing up as a mentor and you go, oh, hey, I have this other skill that's not in the dropdown, we're able to go in on the back end and add it, which I think is very, very cool. Ryan, what were you going to say? I know I hopped in. I was excited.
That was pretty much what I was going to say anyway. So thank you.
Glad we're on the same glad we're on the same page there. And I can also show, if it's helpful, kind of what the login looks like on my end as a mentor with a mentee kind of loaded in, which I think is kind of interesting. And I've built out my profile fully, so that might be of interest. And let me find.
And are these grad students? Are they early career folks? Like, who are the mentees?
Exactly. I'm like, exactly. So as you see, we launched 2 events, right? The first one is for mentors, second one for mentees. The truth is, you may very well end up being both if that's something that you're interested in. Our kind of target audience as psychologists of color, we're looking at undergrads, grad students, early career psychologists, and established psychologists. So we shouldn't have any like 4-year-olds logging up. We shouldn't have anybody who's not in the field of psychology signing up. It really should be someone who wants to become a psychologist, or someone who is a psychologist somewhere on that journey. But as you know, what established career looks like and feels like changes. If you're, for example, a grad student, you might be a great mentor for someone who's exploring grad school options. Or if you're a grad student, you might be a great mentee for someone who is 4 years post-license. Or if you're 4 years post-license, you might want a mentor who's been licensed for 20 years and has published 2 books, right? So you could potentially fall anywhere. And as you're filling out the profile, you're going to pick that, right, where you are in your career phase, so that hopefully you're picking someone as a mentor who's a little bit further along if you're looking for that kind of support. Although with some of the more traditional, like a public speaking skill, I might be able to learn from someone who's more junior in the psychology field in something like that. So it really gives you the opportunity to look at the profiles and enter in as much information you can about what you're looking for and what skills you have, and then thank you to the algorithm that does the matching, because that is where my brain wanted to explode trying to figure out how to do that without software. Yeah, and then I was able to pull up the website as well. We have on our POC website, either from our homepage, you're able to click on the mentorship, Mentor City button image, or it's also from our drop downs. From Get Support, there's a mentorship option, or from our Support Our Mission, you can become a mentor. All of those are going to take you to the same page here that's providing a lot of the same information that I covered in the beginning part of this webinar. Kind of why we've launched it, what Mentor City does, and then there's our sign up link here. So if I click on the sign up link, it's going to take us to the well, I'm already logged in,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if I log out, it'll take me to a login or a sign up rather. Um, the ability to sign up. Let's see.
Go
Oh, I
back to
don't
that link.
go back to the link.
Yeah.
You, Brian, I'm so glad you're here.
There
There
you
we go.
go.
That's what it looks like when you're new. You're going to enter your first name, last name, email, password, and click on the register button. And Brian, I'm assuming it sends an email, and then you click on the email. It's the whole thing, right?
No, actually, we don't have any verification like that. The verification step comes afterwards. So yeah, you get once you type in your first name, last name, email address, and set yourself up with a password, the next screen you're going to see is the profile and start filling out the profile.
Fabulous. And then we also loaded what you saw in the resource section when Brian was sharing. We've put together instructions for new mentors and mentees and a PDF form. So that's also at the bottom of this psychologistofcolor.com/mentorship website. You can access the PDF with information about the program and then like screen grabs of what that login looks like and what you enter and so like what that page is going to be and how to fill out the various sections if you have any questions about what goes where. This can kind of help you along the way as a resource. Selecting the number of mentors and mentees you want, loading up all your competencies and where you are in your career and searching the whole. We tried, although I think the webinar is more clear than the PDF, but it's nice to have something to watch as well. And also lists, Jasmine, who is our communications and operations manager at POC, is going to be your point of contact for suggestions or comments. For more technical support issue, I want you to use inside the platform to use that help feature is going to be more helpful with the tech piece, because then it goes to the whole Mentor City team and not just to Jasmine, which I think is better. I think it's better. See if I can log it quickly. Uh-oh. Nope. Okay. I'm not going to have you all watch me struggle logging in because I had it saved. You can save it. Let's see. I'll stop the screen share for now. Any other? Oh, I see. Is there something in the chat? Oh, okay. Okay. Any other questions from those of you who are on with us?
Hi, this is Corvandra. I have a question. So I was wanting to get a clearer understanding of how you plan to like maybe market the mentorship program. Like, is it going to certain universities or like APA divisions or ABSI or just, different associations and things like that?
Yes. Actually, Jasmine, who I mentioned before, is on. I don't know if Jasmine, if you're open to sharing kind of some of the marketing plans or if you want me to chime in.
Yeah, I'm a little sick right now, so excuse me, but we do reach out to universities. We have an email list. We're reaching out to HBCUs as well as PWIs. And yeah, social media. We will be reaching out to more organizations, all of the above.
All of the above. But
Thank
we would
you.
also love your help spreading the word. So if you're a member of a psychological association or an alumni group or grad school, or you have a connection to this or that, absolutely help us push it out, connect us. We do also have a Google ad grant, so we're able to run Google ads for our programs. And I know this will be one of the things that we run it for, trying to bring in more mentors and then mentees. Our hope is for this to keep growing and growing and growing until every psychologist of color has a mentor. Like, that would be phenomenal. So if you have ideas, suggestions, if there's anything we're not doing from a marketing perspective, we would love to do it. If you have connections, please please link us. We want this to be something that is available for everyone who needs it. Great question. Anybody else? Awesome. Thank you so much for those of you who are attending live. It really makes it so much more interesting and fun when we have people on live. And for those of you who are watching this recording, thank you for watching the recording. I'm excited that you're considering signing up to be a mentor and or mentee. You certainly may wind up in both roles once we've got a critical mass of people in the system. But obviously, it works the best when we have numbers, right? Lots of people to choose from, so you can kind of be picky and find someone who really can support you in the ways that you were specifically looking for. So we're excited to watch this grow. All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for coming, and we'll be in touch.